Good morning, Louise,
Morning, Rob.
and good morning to everybody to this new episode of God is Supernatural. Our verse is 1 Corinthians 2, 4 and 5. My message and my preaching were not with wise and persuasive words. So not with words, guys. It's not just words, but with a demonstration of the Spirit's power, so that your faith might not rest on human wisdom, but on God's power. The gospel is the power of God unto salvation. If your message doesn't come with power, that's what Paul is saying, then people's faith does not have a solid footing, doesn't have a sure footing to rest upon. So we encourage people to step into the power of God. So you may be watching us on Facebook or listening to us on UGN Jams. I encourage you to check out UGN Jams, great radio urban gospel network, internet radio channel. Um, Share it with your friends. But our mission is to encourage every Christian to step into a ministry that is powerful, that has the unction of the Holy Spirit on it. That when you speak, there is power to witness, power to convict, power to heal, power to save. Um, what an exciting gospel we have, hey Louise.
It is, isn't it? Exciting place to be. Yeah.
It is an exciting place to be. Um, If you are interested in knowing more, we have a new course starting in March, Kingdom First. Check out our website, networkvineyard.church. Go to events and sign up. We'd love to have you with us. We have been having a wonderful time on our current Kingdom First, and we've got an amazing testimony, absolutely amazing testimony, and the whole journey of this testimony is phenomenally insightful. Primarily, this is your story, Louise, because it was in your prayer group, wasn't it?
It
Your
was.
breakout group.
Yeah.
I'll just tee you up and then,
Yeah.
launch you into the flow and interject at various points. But one of the people who is on our course has a hiatus hernia. So if anybody knows that, it's a hernia in the stomach where um, is it your epiglottis doesn't fully close anymore.
Yeah.
So acid reflux
Yeah. Flow.
occurs, yeah,
Yeah.
flows back, and actually for this person, that's actually quite severe. It means that her tongue is swollen, raw, sore because of the acid. It affects her sleeping because if she's lying on her side, then the acid just flows out the gap. So incredibly painful and very detrimental to her. So she's got to be sleeping propped up, which is a very
Mm.
uncomfortable way of sleeping. So this has been a very significant infirmity, disabling condition for her. And I can't remember how many years she had it. Can you remember?
It was a long time. I can't remember. It was years, but I can't remember how many specifically. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so so that was the kind of condition that we were praying into. And we have prayed into it a few times, and there's always been improvement in the evening of prayer, and stuff seems to be happening. But within 24 hours, it's kind of gone back to where it was, which tells us usually tells us there is some kind of, maybe demonic issue that we're trying to address.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there we are. That's the picture. Launch us into it, Louise.
Yes. So, as Rob said, we broke down into groups. This lady was in my group. During the teaching, we'd been looking at the human divine cooperation, where the work that God can do. We are His people. We step into what He asks us, but it's only Him that can do that work. Um, And so she asked for prayer because of all these symptoms that Rob has just mentioned. Um, so we invited the Holy Spirit.
And can I just
Um,
add in? Can I just add in, Louise?
yes,
She she's she said, I think this is something I'm just going to have to live with. So you weren't kind of wasn't like
absolutely.
high faith environment at this point,
No,
was it?
no, yeah. And you just reminded, she said that. And she also said, just as we were turning to prayer, I don't believe that God speaks to me. I don't hear from him. So
Yeah.
that's, we weren't kind of stepping into faith in massive faith from her. But we invited the Holy Spirit, and as we always do, we spent some time just allowing the presence of the Holy Spirit to fall. And after a little while, I asked her if she was experiencing anything. And she said that she had an image of cheese on toast. She described it as red Leicester bubbling on the toast. She was almost salivating. She said it looked delicious and she wanted to eat it. Now, as team leader, I was like, okay, Holy Spirit, I have no clue where you want to go with this, but we're waiting on you. Just show us um, where you want to take us with this. But as she carried on talking, her demeanor changed and her voice changed, and she became quite angry.
Yeah.
Um, so as she was talking about how delicious this cheese on toast looked, I asked her, why was she feeling angry? And she told me that in the past she'd been obsessed with cheese. She ate it for breakfast. But in 2020, she'd had a gallbladder removed and she could no longer eat cheese because of side effects from eating it and how the body digests food differently.
And I'm assuming the gallbladder problems and removal are linked to her excessive cheese eating.
Probably, highly likely, yes. She said also, as she was just feeding back to us, that she recognised that she had now replaced eating cheese with kind of eating chocolate, and that now she was recognising she was having the symptoms that she had when she ate cheese. Now, when she eats chocolate, and they were obviously adversely affecting her.
Yeah.
So I asked her if she felt she could bring the anger that she was feeling to God, whether she could confess it. And she quite bluntly said no, she couldn't. So, again, it's a good place to be, isn't it, where you're kind of stumped and you don't know where to go. But I said, right, well, let's just wait on the Holy Spirit a little bit longer. Just invite him just to come and give us direction.
Yeah.
So we did that. And I felt prompted by the Holy Spirit just to ask her if she'd lost a parent. And she said yes, she had a few years previously. And I just asked her whether that losing her dad, whether that tied in with the cheese image at all. And she said it didn't. But as she was almost telling me that it didn't, she kind of got some realization. And she said that actually she hadn't lived with her father as a child. She'd lived with her grandfather.
Oh,
He'd been more of a dad to her. And it was actually him that had given her passion for cheese. She would eat it with him for breakfast and get in trouble with grandma for doing so. And she's just suddenly realized that the anger she was feeling was not related to the cheese, but was related to losing her grandfather.
yeah.
And as she was telling me this, she said that she felt able just to surrender that anger about losing her grandfather to God. So as a group, again, we submitted to the Holy Spirit. We prayed healing, for the loss. She confessed her anger, repented of it, and there were tears as well. So we'd
Yeah.
gone from anger to tears. And then another team member had a picture of a golden light on this lady's stomach. And she said that there was also a blockage just washing out of Judy's ears. So the lady that got this image of the golden light also got the image of the ears being cleared out. And she said that this was in relation where she'd said at the beginning she didn't believe that God spoke to her.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that God had given her that image of the cheese on toast, that he'd actually given it to the lady that said, God doesn't speak to me, was, proof that he does actually use her in powerful ways.
Totally. Totally. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. I mean, this was really powerful speaking to her, wasn't it?
absolutely. Very odd, but, very powerful.
Yeah.
But so the lady after prayer, she said that she had a sense of anger, bitterness, and disappointment just lifting off.
Yeah.
And she said that she felt there was sort of like something going on in the pit of her stomach. She felt that a knot was being undone inside of her, which is all kind of exciting stuff, isn't it? Her chest felt lighter,
Yeah.
and she said she just felt like the sense of heaviness that she had just completely lifted off her.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think I spoke to her afterwards. Previously, things had gone back to how they were before prayer. That hadn't happened. And I have since spoken to her, and she is now occasionally eating cheese, which, she wasn't able to do at all
No,
before.
because the symptoms were extreme, weren't they?
Yes, absolutely. I haven't been in touch with her for a few weeks, but, it'd be really interesting to see how all of that is going. But yeah,
Yeah.
very powerful.
Well, extremely powerful. The the kind of the kind of sharp end of this is what was happening within her as you guys
Mm,
were praying. So this is someone who um, didn't feel didn't was feeling that she would have to live with this,
yeah.
just put up with it, and that God never spoke to her. And as the prayer was going on, she felt this. So these are deep emotions: anger,
Yeah.
bitterness, disappointment. She felt they were going from the pit of her stomach. So the fact that you have this sense of location,
Mm,
that what you can identify the emotions, and they're all very corrosive emotions,
yeah.
and there was a sense of location in the pit of your stomach, and this sensation of those leaving you, departing. That's really powerful, but
Yeah.
also it's just significant, guys. If you are unused to the way God works, then understanding that the spiritual world is real, and actually it is located, it has location, it can be
Mm,
present in us, and it's present all around us, but those bondages are present and located somewhere in our body. You feel them go, and that's telling you you are being set free.
yeah.
You're being set free. And then, she also, this sense of heaviness of her chest, because she said, I didn't realize my chest felt heavy until it was lighter.
Yeah.
This weight had lifted off. And isn't that's really common, isn't it, Louise? This
Yeah.
spirits
It,
lift off, and it's only when they've gone that you realize they were ever there, because that was your reality
yeah.
for ever, or for decades, or for
You've just known nothing different, have you? And I think to actually go through that process with somebody and just see those different emotions, which they're just so real. You can't just suddenly manufacture that anger out of nowhere. It was, the Holy Spirit moving within her, and it was powerful anger, scary anger. So
Yeah, I remember you saying at the time
yes.
how angry she was, and I just want to put a slightly different spin on that as well, because um, uh, to me that was demonic.
Mm,
That was the demon manifesting,
yeah,
and being exposed.
yeah, and
So,
holding her back. She didn't want to surrender that anger at that point, did she?
no. And did that anger well up after you invited the Holy Spirit to come and minister?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it sounds like um, one, the Holy Spirit spoke to her with the cheese,
yeah,
and also in that process, because this was a freedom journey, that spirit of anger was surfacing and manifesting and being exposed,
yeah,
as linked to this bondage.
yeah, absolutely. Who
Um,
would have thought an image of cheese on toast could take you through what she went through on that evening?
yeah, no, no, really powerful. And so the upshot is, she clearly loves cheese, is that she's been eating cheese again in small quantities. So that's a miracle, because previously extreme reactions to it.
Yeah,
So that's a physical miracle. Um, and actually, this hiatus hernia, which is a physical thing, how closely tied it was to this demonic stronghold.
yeah,
Um, there is a lot to take away from this, and a lot to learn, guys.
absolutely.
Um, so we're gonna leave it there, guys, for you to ponder on. You've got to be in it to win it. You've got to be in it to learn. We encourage you, get involved in the ministry that God has given us. It is powerful. It sets people free. We are not going to displace the darkness, the spiritual darkness in the world, without actually displacing it, guys. So if you'd like to be equipped, do sign up for our next Kingdom First, which begins in March. God bless you guys. This is 2026, and we are loving it already. Until next time.